Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Cyberman Show. So, recently I read a report from Viz on the state of AI in the cloud, and I'm going to share my learnings from it as well as how I'm going to link this learning with what I do in cybersecurity and what you can follow as well. And if you have ideas, uh, please share it with the wider community. Uh, if you're working on cybersecurity in AI, I'll be happy to host you on my podcast to share what you're learning, what you're trying to do, etc. With that, let's get started. So, what Wiz did essentially last year is they scanned around 150,000 cloud accounts from three major cloud service providers, Microsoft, AWS, and Google. And this report essentially gives a summary of their learning. This is not a cybersecurity report. It covers basically how AI is getting tested um, across these three CSPs, and essentially this starts with the background of managed AI services, how they are exponentially growing. That managed AI services are cloud native, and it talks about the major services from all the three vendors. So Azure AI Services, for example, offers Azure AI Search, Azure OpenAI Service, AI Vision, AI Translator, and Azure AI Speech. Google uh, a managed AI services called Google Vertex AI, and Amazon's services called Amazon SageMaker. The report also mentioned about following a maturity model for organizations who are trying to test these managed AI services. And it starts with the stage of experimentation where the people who are excited about testing AI, they would deploy certain workloads that are managed by them. You can call this shadow AI, which essentially means there is no central visibility into AI cloud usage. It might or might not be approved by the IT team, cybersecurity teams, etc. And it depends on the organization. Essentially, the idea is to have a proof of concept, do some research on exploring the potential AI product ideas. From there, it moves into active development where you have proven the model. You're now deploying a large fleet of AI workloads. You are monitoring the capabilities of these workloads. You are deploying security controls and trying to prevent and detect AI risk like training data poisoning. And you're further experimenting on new use cases. From there, you move into production where you have a larger fleet of AI workloads, more security in place, and you are going beyond the additional use cases. So uh, that's a good model to follow. With that, let's look into these key things that are mentioned in the report. The report mentions that the uh, AI based services are exploding. They have taken over the cloud. So, cloud based managed AI services can be seen in over 70% of the environment. Uh, this, in comparison to managed Kubernetes services, which is offered by all these three CSPs, is lower. So managed Kubernetes services, AKS, EKS, and GKE are found on an average in 81% of the cloud environments, whereas uh, the managed AI services are only present in 70% of the environment. But the key thing to note here is that the AI services are not even 2 years old compared to the Kubernetes services, which are quite mature. Okay, so what that means is people are really excited about AI. They see potential value. They see huge difference that can be made using AI. Okay, now also this report mentions that the number of instances of Azure OpenAI have gone up by a whopping 228% compared to 45% from Google Vertex AI based instances. Okay, the other thing that report mentions is that the 32% of the companies or the accounts that were scanned in this report, they are experimenting with managed AI services. 30% are not using the AI services, and 28% of these accounts are actively using the managed AI services, which means they are quite uh, mature or they are on the maturity track. Okay. The next thing that report mentions is Microsoft is leading the pack when it comes to using AI in CSPs. I think that the only reason that could be, to my guess, is the number of AI based services that Microsoft offers is much higher. So they offer the Azure AI service, Azure OpenAI, Azure ML Studio, etc. So 39% of the environments had Azure AI services, 30% had OpenAI, and then Amazon SageMaker is used at 38%, right? So comparatively, Azure services are tested more by the customers. The next thing that report mentions is that the OpenAI or Azure OpenAI SDK is quite popular. It's used by 53% of the cloud environments, and in general self-hosted AI and ML software is highly prevalent in the cloud and can be found in nearly 69% of the environments. Okay. Hugging Face transformers can be found in 45% of the environment, LangChain in 32%, and TensorFlow Hub Library in 22%, right? One of the reasons the OpenAI models could be very popular is because they allow integration with other OpenAI models, and I'm sure this data that they have scanned would change every few months based on the introduction of new services by various providers as well as new models that are getting released. So when this report was conducted, the Gemini version of Google AI was not in place, and I'm sure every 6 months this data will change. Okay. Now, the last thing that report mentions is that 42% of the organizations have chosen to self-host AI models in their cloud environments, and it talks about most popular self-hosted AI model types like BERT, Distilbert, Roberta, etc. Okay, so people are doing the self-hosted AI models also. Now, this was small report, right? Compared to typical cybersecurity report, I expect more data points to come as organizations adopt more AI. Now, as cybersecurity professional, what do we do about this, right? One is, if your organization is testing AI, please get involved in the projects. I'm sure you're trying to learn more about AI by doing courses. There are a bunch of AI courses available from Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Also some courses on Coursera and other platforms. I'm not associated with any one of them. I'm just giving you things that I've seen or gone through myself. The other thing is going through the OWASP top 10 for LLM applications. So this project provides a list of top 10 most critical vulnerabilities often seen in LLM applications. It highlights potential impact, ease of exploitation, and prevalence in the real world application. And then the next thing you should read is the cybersecurity and governance checklist for the OWASP top 10 for LLM applications, and of course the MITRE Atlas, which is a fairly new project from MITRE. It complements to the attack framework, which is already there, that tracks the TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. And Atlas stands for Adversarial Threat Landscape for Artificial Intelligence Systems. It's globally accessible. It is a living knowledge based on the adversary tactics and techniques based on real world attack observations and realistic demos from AI red teams and security groups. So this is pretty exciting. I hope all this intelligence gets feed it into the production software. At least in the cybersecurity side, I found this really cool. Okay. With that, thank you so much. I'm thankful to Wiz for sharing this report, and also to my listeners. You are helping us grow. I have recently crossed around 16,000 downloads and listens on all the platforms. I'm very thankful for the response that you're giving, and I'll see you next time.